PSE index performance is not that good in the recently concluded week. It went down from 6,545.17 last April 8, 2021, to 6,494.81 this April 16, 2021. This performance is equivalent to a minus 0.77% decrease in the index for the week. Our magical stocks followed the index and went down. The first batch went down from 200.60k pesos to 193.34k pesos, or a minus 3.62% decrease in our investment. The second batch also went down from 168.17k pesos to 167.71k pesos, equivalent to a minus 0.39% decrease in our investment. Overall, our magical stocks total gain went down from 28.05k pesos to 20.14k pesos. We will update the first and second batches of magical stocks together with November 2020, December 2020, February 2021, and March 2021 experimental magical stocks for this week's video. Before we proceed with our update, and if you are interested in investing using our magical stocks or monitoring our system's effectiveness, please like this channel, subscribe, and hit the notification button to keep you updated weekly. Let's first discuss the November experimental magical stocks performance from April 8, 2021, to April 16, 2021. Here is our worksheet for our November experimental stocks. The top performer is still SECB gaining 6.55%, and the top loser is now MEG losing minus 14.43%. We still don't have any sell signal for each of the 5 experimental stocks. Let's look at the trend which we started to monitor last November 20, 2020. The PSE index went down from minus 8.7% to minus 9.4%, losing minus 0.7%. The experimental magical stocks also went down from 1.1% to minus 3.2%, losing minus 4.3%. The experiment is back below the benchmark while the index is still below the benchmark line. Our experiment still is above the index with a gap of 6.2% this April 16, 2021, coming from 9.8% last April 8, 2021. Let's now discuss the December experimental magical stocks performance from April 8, 2021, to April 16, 2021. Here is our worksheet for our December experimental stocks. FGen is still the top stock gaining 9.57%, while the top loser is now DMC, losing minus 13.04%. We still don't have any sell signal for each of the 5 experimental stocks. Let's look at the experiment's trend, which we compare against the PSE index starting December 18, 2020. The PSE index went down from minus 10.0% to minus 10.7%, losing minus 0.7%. The experimental magical stocks also went down from 0.2% to minus 2.9%, losing minus 3.1%. The experiment is back below the benchmark while the index is still below the benchmark line. Our experiment is still above the index with a gap of 7.8% this April 16, 2021, coming from 10.2% last April 8, 2021. Let's now discuss the February experimental magical stocks performance from April 8, 2021, to April 16, 2021. Here is our worksheet for the experimental stocks. The top performer is STR but losing minus 2.50%, and the top loser is still VLL, losing minus 12.06%. We still don't have any sell signal for each of the 5 experimental stocks. Let's look at the trend which we started to monitor last February 19, 2021. The PSE index went down from minus 5.5% to minus 6.2%, losing minus 0.7%. The experimental magical stocks also went down from minus 5.8% to minus 7.1%, losing minus 1.2%. The index and experiment are still below the benchmark line. The index is still above the experiment with a gap of minus 0.8% this April 16, 2021, coming from minus 0.3% last April 8, 2021. Let's now discuss the March 2021 experimental magical stocks performance from April 8, 2021, to April 16, 2021. Here is our worksheet for the experimental stocks. The top performer is DMC gaining 5.4%, and the least performer is now FGen but gaining 4.75%. We don't have any sell signal for each of the 5 experimental stocks. Let's look at the trend which we started to monitor last March 19, 2021. The PSE index went down from 1.7% to 0.9%, losing -0.8%. The experimental magical stocks also went down from 6.9% to 5.0%, losing -1.9%. The index and experiment are above the benchmark line. Our experiment is above the index with a gap of 4.1% this April 16, 2021, coming from 5.2% last April 8, 2021. Here is the worksheet of our first and second batch of magical stocks. The first batch is all in green, while the second batch is now all in red. To summarize our investment, the first batch of magical stocks is gaining 27.72% coming from 32.51%, while the second batch is losing by -11.65%, coming from -11.31% last week. Overall, with an investment of 300,277.07 pesos, our investment's current value is 320,137.32 pesos, equivalent to 6.61% coming from 9.25%. We still have a good first batch of magical stocks and a still not so good but dividend-paying second batch. That will be all for the magical stocks update this week. Thank you for watching. Next week, we will continue the trend update for the first and second batches of magical stocks and the 4 experimental stocks. We will also release the actual buying of the third batch of magical stocks. Quote, investing should be more like watching paint dry or watching grass grow. If you want excitement, take $800 and go to Las Vegas. Unquote. Paul Samuelson. See you in the following video. Have a great day ahead.